Hi everyone, Jessica here from Paper Ink Stamp and welcome back to my channel. So today we are back with the Sheetload of cards for April 2024. So this is the design that we're going to be following here, and again I've said this in other videos. So what Alicia, who makes these Sheetload of cards, and I will leave a link in the description box down below, what she does with her cards, because she's based in America, she makes the US A2 size cards, but here in the UK I make A6 size cards, and mine are slightly different. So what I like to do is just do some conversions and recreate this card that will fit cards that we do here in the UK. So you can do that as well, whether it's 6x6 cards that you do, if it's 5x7 cards, you know, you can come in and just recreate this design. So I just sat down, changed the dimensions, fingers crossed this time we are going to get it right first time, because it doesn't always happen. And yeah, recreate them using one of our new paper pads for April 2024 as well. So you can find this printable. Again, I'll leave a link to the video where she shares this and how you can get this and download it, and how to share it forward as well. Sort of like the rules around that. She's got the supplies and things if you want to make this exact cards, and she's got all of that on here. And then the second sheet she includes has all the supplies that you're going to need. So for example, for like these pieces here, you need one sheet of, so theirs is 8.5 by 11, but ours would be A4, plus then a little extra as well. You've got then your topper bits as well, and she's going to be creating 8 A2 size cards with her measurements and using this quantity. She's got 2 sheets of 12 by 12 in there, but again, I'll leave a link to her videos in the description box down below. So I'm going to pop that to one side for the moment. And these are the 2 brand new paper pads that we've brought out for April 2024. We've got birthday celebrations and back to school. I'm not sure which one I want to use. With the back to school, we do have the embellishment pack in here as well as the coloured papers. With the birthday celebrations, we just have a coordinating colour pack. And I feel like maybe we should make some birthday cards here, but I am excited to use the back to school. I might, depending on how we get on with this design and if I've got my measurements right, I might follow the same design using the back to school, or maybe I might find another Sheetloads of cards like a previous one to create some cards with this one, because I do absolutely love the images that you have in here. So we're going to start off with our birthday celebrations, because I think it's always great to make some birthday cards to have on hand. So within your packs, it's the same as what you get every time. So you get 16 sheets. I've just got the 8 designs here in the portrait orientation, but you will get 16 sheets. You get 2 of each design, 1 portrait, 1 landscape. So they work perfectly for all of your paper crafting needs, whatever it is that you like to create. These are the designs here. You can go back and check my previous video where I gave you a sort of full walkthrough with everything that's included with these. But I need to decide what I want to have. So I only need 2 different patterns here. So it's this background piece here, and then this one here as well. So she managed to cut all of her pieces. Like I said, she only uses 2 12 by 12 papers, and then just uses the sheet of coloured cardstock to back this square, which we're going to then cut up. So now we've got our colours picked out, and it's really easy to do because all the colours will coordinate really nicely with the patterned paper. It's all going to work, so it's really easy. All you have to do is just decide what it is that you want to pick, which for me sometimes can be the hardest, of what it is that I actually want to use first of all, because I absolutely love everything that comes within the pack. So let's grab my paper trimmer. So what I'm going to do is cut my sheets down. So the way that I cut mine down is I just kind of see what I can get out of the packs. It's not necessarily, you know, if you can sort of follow along to do it as well, but I can sort of show you what I've gotten out of them. With these here, what she's done is shown you exactly how you are going to cut those, what you can do with your leftovers. But yeah, she sort of gives you a layout of what you can do. So let's start off by trimming down our paper. So the first thing I want to do is cut out these backing pieces here. So this back piece is going to measure 3 3/4 by 5.5 inches. I make my A6 cards slightly different, so mine measure 4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, because I cut them down slightly just to make life a little bit easier in terms of doing the measurements. I don't have like 1/8 of an inch. I literally just stick to the 1/4 of an inches. So we're going to cut this piece first of all. So let's take this one just here. So again, we're going to cut this. So I believe I'm going to get 4 of these out of this. So what do I want? 3 3/4. So let's cut that first. And again, then 3 3/4. So we're going to have a little bit spare just here. You can see I've got this strip here, which you can use then to decorate the inside of your cards. And then we're gonna cut that down to 5.5. So we've got our 4 panels just there for that. And then we're gonna do this piece here. So this is our other piece of patterned paper. So with this design, what we're gonna do is cut this just into a 3 3/4 inch square. We're gonna glue the patterned paper on, which is gonna be 3 inches by 3 inches, and then we're gonna cut on a diagonal to give us that split. So the first thing I wanna do is cut this down to 3 1/4 inch. So let's just go into one strip. So I'm not going to have any alternating designs for this here. So when you do it sometimes, and if you go back and watch Alicia's videos with hers, because she's used 2 different patterned papers with her 12 by 12, she's able to alternate her actual card bases because she's done them all the exact same. So she'll have 4 cards which follow one pattern, and then 4 cards which follow another pattern. I think mine are just going to come out and I'm going to have potentially just 4 cards here, but they're all going to be exactly the same. So 3 1/4, and again then I've got a little bit of spare. So that can go in. Then we can either make some more cards, maybe we can just cut up another background piece to do with those, but we'll just make the 4 cards for the moment. So we've got the 4 background pieces, and we have our 4 squares just there. Now we're going to cut up our yellow piece. Okay, so obviously I have to do something wrong every time, but these were meant to be 3 inches square, and then this was 3 1/4 inch, but because these are 3 1/4 inch, I'm just going to make these 3 1/2 inches. I'm really not too worried. So I'm going to cut these to 3 1/2 because these are going to be my matte layer. Let's move the trimmer to one side for the moment. So we have got our background piece, so let's just put that down. We've got our matten layer with our pattern, like so, and then what we're going to do is cut it up. So because mine is slightly bigger, we don't have as much space on the edge, but what we're going to do is glue these together. So let's get my glue, let's get my glue holder. We're going to add glue to this. So it says in the instructions that Alicia has provided that you want to do this bit first. And again, if you watch her videos of how she made her card, she gives you a few different suggestions on how you can cut this up. So I think one of them was just eyeballing it, so just doing it and winging it. One was creating a template, and one was just marking each individual one. Now, because none of these would go to the same people, I'd happily just wing it, because not everyone has to be exactly the same. If you're going to make a set of cards for somebody, then maybe using the template would be better, because then you want every single one to be exactly the same. Okay, so I'm going to bring my trimmer back in, and she went for sort of an inch at either side. So you just sort of need to pick a point where you want to line it up with, and yeah, just kind of go for it really. So if I can pick that up. There you go, that's how I've cut mine. So again, they don't have to be the same. You want to keep these 2 pieces together though, just to make sure that you are putting the same pieces back together again. And then the idea is that one's going to go down there. So I'm going to give a much bigger gap. Like so, and then we're going to pop our sentiment in the middle. But for now, I'm going to grab some card bases and we can put those together. Then we can have a look at what sentiment we want to add. So I've got my 4 A6 card bases here. So again, my A6 cards measure 4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. Like I said, just because to me, it just makes life a little bit easier without having to worry about doing 1/8 of an inches measurements here when you come down in your mat and layers. So I'm just going to glue all of these down, and then I'm going to glue down as well the topper pieces we've got, so that's all going to be flat, because what I have found, because I've been giving these cards out, so if you make an order with me for the paper pads, then I do add in a blank card for you. So one of the cards that you'll probably see me make on my channel here, I do add one of those in with an envelope for you to either use yourself or to give away to somebody, just because I think it's nice to add a little extra in with your package, just to say thank you for placing an order with me. But also then, because I make a lot of cards, it's nice to kind of give them out and hope then that they will get used. So what I have found is I don't want to add too much into the weight of them, so I do try to keep them as flat as possible. So we're just going to glue all of these down. So again, the top section is going to go right at the top, and again with that simple quarter of an inch difference, so it gives you that really nice border there, and that orange colour then as well does just help to differentiate between that background and the balloon paper there as well, because of course they are both blue, but these are going to work really nicely for some nice masculine cards to have on hand. And what I really love as well, because a lot of the patterned paper is covered up by these pieces, these corner pieces, it's nice then to have that center section where you can still you know, see it, and you can read it, and you can see what it says on there. So I'm going to go ahead and just finish gluing all of these down. So the sentiment I'm going to use, this is the Creative Craft Products A2 Essential Everyday Sentiment. So we've got the happy birthday in here with the shadow die as well. And I thought this would look quite nice. It's like a decent size. Whether I go down the middle or just sort of like straight across, I'm not sure yet, but what I think I might do is I could use for the actual happy birthday is I could use our yellow card here and really have everything coordinate, or I could come in with one of the other colours. Yeah, I think I might just do this yellow here. So I'm just gonna cut it into strips here, and this is all one word, okay, so my camera, my battery died there, so I could just cut these into strips. I'm going to grab my Gemini Mini, and we're going to die cut these. What I was saying was they are all, it's all just one connected phrase, if you like, so both the words are connected together. So let's just take that bit out. Let's grab, let me grab my pokey tool. Just here, and then we can take this out. So this cardstock is really great for die cutting as well, not just for using as your mats and layers. You can use it for your die cutting. So there we have our sentiment, And then we're going to do the vellum like Alicia did in her videos, and yeah, that's just going to not hide anything from our background, from our patterned paper, but it is going to help to separate our sentiment from our background. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and finish cutting out the other 4 of these. Okay, so there we have our 4 sentiments. With vellum, it's such a shame really, because obviously you can see any adhesive that you put behind it, so it would be good obviously to have it yeah, to have it a little higher, but to put some foam tape on the back of that I think is, it's just going to be a bit of a nightmare. I mean, I could just put it into some key areas, I guess. Actually, let's just cut down a really thin strip of the outside. So I was going to cut down the circles, but could we get this to be thin enough maybe? Okay, so let's take the back off and let's just see, maybe so this is a little tedious, but I'm just going to put it in a few sort of a few areas. Okay, so we've added the foam to the back of this. Hopefully you won't see it. If you do, hopefully it won't be sort of too much of it. But I tried to put it far enough apart, but also then in sort of good areas where it's gonna keep its its shape. So let's just peel the backing off. And then we are gonna, again, I do quite like it like that, but I'm gonna keep it straight across because that is more in keeping with what Alicia has done on hers. So yeah, I think that's quite nice. And again, the vellum just separates then the thin writing then from that background. But because we've got a lot of similar colours on here, I think it works really nicely together. So let's go ahead and add these on here too. So there we have our 4 cards. I really love how these come out. These are perfect masculine makes here, and so easy to put together. Yeah, I really love how these ones have come out. I do still have some of these scraps. So what we're going to do is just decorate the inside with them. So we're going to take, they're going to fit on there, yes. So, and this is a really, really great way of using up your scraps, is just to add something to the inside. You can, of course, then use them on other cards if you want to, but, you know, if you're not a fan of sort of those kind of cards where you've got just lots of, you know, sort of random pieces or trying to use up random pieces, then this is a really great way. Just put them in your cards as little banners. You can cut shapes out of them if you wanted to as well. You could turn them into little like little flags on the inside. So we're going to do 2 down there, just like that. So you can see, you know, just adding that really simply to the bottom. You can stamp a sentiment in there as well if you want to. But yeah, what a great way to just use up some leftovers. So with this one, for example, we could just cut that at an angle. So I'm not going to use the whole of this strip, but we're going to create just a flag. Again, these can be used on the front of your cards as just little extra elements, but just on the inside, just to bring a little bit of the what's on the outside onto the inside. So now I've got a diagonal piece. What I'm actually going to do, so this is going to be a smaller piece to go on the inside. I don't know why I added glue to that top bit, but what I'm going to do is just line up. You could just get your trimmer back out and just cut this straight, but what I'm going to do is just pop that there like that. I needn't have put glue on there. And there we go, just trim it down. So that now we've decorated the insides of our cards with some of the scraps that we had left over. So I really love these. I love how these have come out. I'm just looking at what we've got left and wondering, do I want to create another set of cards using this pack and using this design? Okay, so I did decide to make another set of cards using some more of the papers. So I'm going to leave these ones just here, and this is what I created using some of the other ones. So it is slightly different. So this backing piece, this square piece here, I cut this to how I was originally going to cut it, because this one I ended up cutting 1/4 inch too big, but actually it fits in really nicely where you've got that really nice simple thinner border around the outside. This is how I did it, where you have a thinner border, and whether it's the paper or whether it's the change, obviously to really do a direct comparison you'd have to make this again in the exact same papers to really see what you prefer. But I'll be honest, I think I do prefer this one here, where you have got that thinner border all the way around. I think it just fits in a little bit nicer, but it could be just down to the paper. You know, it's really hard to tell when you are using 2 completely different sets of papers. But yeah, I do think I just like the neatness of this being having the same edge from the card blank to the background paper, and then from the yellow matte to the top patterned paper. I just think that's quite nice. However, I do like the fact that you can see a little bit more of the elements. So I think this is what I prefer, but I don't dislike how this one looks either. And obviously I've gone for a different style of sentiment here. I went for something bigger and bolder, using that orange as well, just to tie in that matte layer like I did with the 2 yellows on here. And I just went for a bolder sentiment. Obviously you can't see as much as the background like you can with this one, but because you've got then that thinner, that thicker border around the outside, you can see the elements there. So it's a little bit of give and take. It is just ever so slightly different. So let me know in the comment section down below, which one do you prefer? Again, these ones here from the blue card, the square from the center is slightly bigger. So for this one, the matte and layer, so that yellow layer there, that measures 3.5 inches square. Then the pattern paper is 3.25 inches square. On this one, the orange matte layer is 3.25 inches square, and the candle patterned paper is 3 inches. That is the only difference on here. Yeah, let me know which one do you prefer. Again, do you think it's just the patterned paper that gives it a different look, or do you think having the different sort of widths makes the difference? I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I like the neatness of this one, where you've got the same edging, so the same distance between all of your papers on this one, but I like that you can see more of your patterned paper on the edge of this one here. So that is using the Sheetload of Cards April 2024 design. So it is slightly different. I do sort of vary a little bit from what Alicia uses for hers, but obviously it really depends what kind of sentiment that you have, what you want to use, what your theme is, you know, as to whether sort of how she's done like the sentiments on his, like with the oval and stuff. I mean, this is probably the closest where, you know, you've got that centerpiece, but then this one is closer to what she's done with her cards in terms of using the vellum, so you can still see that patterned paper behind. But yeah, let me know which one do you prefer. Like I said at the start of the video, I will leave a link in the description box down below to her video where you can pick up a copy of her sheetload of cards for April 2024, so definitely check that out and just show you how you can download that for free. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. We have used the birthday celebrations here, which is the new April 2024 paper pack, or one of them, for this month for paper ink stamp. So check out the description box down below as well for a link to my Etsy shop where you can pick up this paper pad, the coordinating paper pack, and the back to school bundle as well. So that's going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching and happy crafting.